Before I even get into this list, please note that, 1. It is in no particular order, and 2. There will obviously be spoilers in this video. The series I will be going over are Shakugan no Shana, Chibi Vampire, Tsugamomo, and We Never Learn. So if you are not caught up on said series and do not wish to be spoiled, please come back when you are caught up. If you don't mind spoilers, then I hope you enjoy the video and have any suggestions for anything I might have missed. The first moment I would like to talk about is the ending of Shakugan no Shana Season 1. What really grind my gears about this is, the series had been setting up that, it was absolutely imperative that they summon Alastor, the Crimson Lord to whom Shana is bound. Link in the description to the video that explains Shakugan no Shana related stuff, so that they can stop the oncoming disaster. Now, the thing is, summoning Alastor would kill Shana, and can you guess what happens next? Go on, I'll give you 10 seconds. Have you got your answers locked in? Well, she survives, and from what I understood, she transferred ownership of Alastor to Yuji, who is effectively immortal, so they were able to summon him and save the day just like that. Oh, and after the fact he transferred Alastor back to Shana. Provided, this ending is apparently, according to Robin and Najib, this is an error on JC staff's part in not understanding the story and as such making it all confusing and seem worse than it actually is. And speaking of Yuji, that brings me to my next point. The second thing that, honestly, genuinely pissed me off about Shakugan no Shana, to the point of me almost dropping it right there, is how Yuji Sakai was made essentially immortal. Like, up until this point, the series was making it a big deal of how, he's not human anymore, he's a torch, which is to say, he's a replacement of his original being and eventually, the torch will fade and everyone will forget about him, as in, he never existed, but somehow, when he became a torch, he had a super rare and powerful treasure that essentially gives him limitless life force. It recharges his power of existence up to its maximum capacity, even at times when he should have died, which mind you, happens multiple times. Now, onto what annoyed me about Chibi Vampire. You know what upset me about Chibi Vampire? It's that, with its unique plot and setting up the hardships that the main character, Karin, goes through, the ending, for the anime at least, just spits in the face of that by turning what was supposed to be a ritual that, if I recall correctly, was to either turn her into a human or a true vampire. Which, mind you, being that she's a vampire that builds up blood and violently gets nosebleeds, leads to her having a bit of a strained relationship with her family and having to have a relationship with a human, who happens to trigger her nosebleeds. And such a relationship has certain implications that you can imagine. Anyways, the ritual, as it turns out in the anime, was to fucking increase her breast size. Yeah, it pissed me off when I watched it about 5 or 6 years ago, and it annoys me now. What aggravates me about Tilt begging for forgiveness is that despite stealing millions in gold and tricking at least 6 people into slavery, which, in actuality she's potentially tricked tens, if not hundreds, and quite possibly thousands into slavery. Given how experienced she seems in doing so. Provided, this is all so she can heal her sick sister, but she honestly has no right to ask for forgiveness and is a pretty shitty person, not only for doing so but for doing what she did in the first place. Now, onto the final moment that annoyed me in anime and manga. The final thing I would like to discuss that annoyed me was Fumino's route in We Never Learn. Like, not only was the route idea cool but ultimately not a good decision, this route in particular was especially bad. It's nothing but the worst aspects of the worst romance series in one neat little tiny package. Nothing sad or big even happens, it's completely stale and overly sappy. Like even my favorite anime, Fairy Tail, is not this sappy. It's such a forgettable part that the only thing memorable is how forgettable and boring, how cheesy and sappy it is. And that's the video. I hope you all enjoyed it and that we can have some engaging discourse in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.